Hello and welcome to Politics Today on Channels Television. I'm Sheung Okimbaloe. It was 6 weeks countdown after the postponement of the general elections. And now we're down to 6 days to the big day, March the 28th, 2015. That's the day for the presidential and the National Assembly elections. Well, today, if you've not collected your permanent voter card, I'm afraid your opportunity of voting in the 2015 general elections might just be dim. Well, as today marks the end of the distribution and collection of the permanent voter cards, well, that's what INEC says. For a moment, let's take a look at how far the umpire has gone in its bid to ensure that as much people who have been registered are in possession of their PVCs. Well, let me give you an idea of what it now looks like of the over 68 million registered voters. It's 56,431,255 people that have collected their voters card, or there's believed that they are in possession of their voter cards, and that's of that number, that's 81% of the total registered voter, and that's over 66 million cards to believe in the possession of the voters. Well, the remaining PVCs that are left to be collected is about 12,402,201, and this means that this is 18% of the total amount of the PVCs produced by INEC. Over 12 million are still not collected until today, when the deadline of the PVC distribution came on. Let me give you an idea of how this now plays out. The first 5 states in terms of the number, the states with the most PVCs collected. The first is Kano. Of the 4,975,701 registered voters in Kano State, 82% have collected their PVCs, which brings Kano as the state with the highest number of people with PVCs, and that is 4.1 million. The next is Lagos with 3.7 million PVCs believed to be in the hands of voters, and that's just 65% of the total PVCs that registered people in Lagos. That's 5.8 registered voters in Lagos. If you go down, the third one is Kaduna State. Kaduna State sits directly under Lagos with 3.1 million people that have collected their PVCs. That's 93% of the total registered voters. While Rivers State has 2.1 million with 83% of the registered voter. And Katsina State is the fifth, the state sitting as the fifth and the most collected PVCs, and it's 2.6 million people that have collected their PVCs, and that's 92% distribution rate in that state. Well, of all these figures, some states like Ogun State still, see as not so impressive distribution, but unfortunately today is the end of the distribution exercise. Ogun State has 61%, and that's about 1.1% distribution in Ogun State. Well, I guess we have Mr. Kayode who will be telling us what exactly is the situation of things. It's just a few days to the election. I have Mr. Kayode who joins us via Skype from Abuja to tell us what exactly is happening. He's the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman. Thank you for joining us on the program. Tell us, Mr. Idowu, this is the last deadline, I presume, but about 13,000 Nigerians who are registered won't be able to vote because they do not have their PVC. Some of these people too, it's not of their fault, but their cards are said not to have reached their state. For example, some people in Ogun State. So what is the situation of things now?
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe. Today, like you rightly said, is the deadline for the collection of PVCs. Now, I cannot preempt the commission, but I know that for cards that are delivered very late, there may still be some opportunity of some days for them to collect. And I'm talking specifically about those isolated areas where cards are delivered very late. But as at yesterday, we already had 81.98%. I'm sure by the time you add today's collection to it, we will have hit 82% of voters. By all standards, 82% is a good showing for any performance. So I think that yes, the as many as are getting their cards late might still have opportunity to collect, but for those cards that have not been collected, you really can, because I heard what you said about INEC not being able to make their cards available to them and all that. Honestly, you can't hold INEC to that because those cards have been there. And if they are not collected, what can INEC do?
All right, interesting. Tell us now, that's for the PVCs. Well, it's unfortunate now that, well, anybody who does not have his or her PVC will not be able to appear to vote on that day, maybe some other time. But tell us about the card readers. We have some information that those card readers, though contentious for some people, there's been so much debate about that, the device. But we understand now that those card readers are being kept in some secret places. Is that true?
Honestly, the card readers are in the place that they are supposed to be. That is, they are being deployed in the states, and they are in the holding stations where they will be until when they will be deployed in the polling units. The card readers are under the custody of the commission, and so they are secured. Secret places, it's not as if they are in central bank vaults like the ballot papers. So not in that sense. They are in the custody of the commission, and then they will be taken to the polling units where they have been configured for come election day.
All right, because I mean, what we understand is perhaps there are some information, security information as regarding the devices, and that's why maybe INEC, as in his own wisdom, tried to secure those devices in some places, because we know that a lot of states have received those devices. Could it be true that maybe you're getting some security information regarding the card, the devices?
Yes, you know, sure, there's all manners of narratives out there about things that are being planned to intercept the performance of the card readers and all that. But the commission is sure of one thing. The card readers that are being used for the elections are designed in a way that they will not be susceptible to all those designs that you are hearing about. As we speak, they are being configured by the authorized staff of the commission. Those that will use it at the polling units are not the people to configure it. They have been configured before they will be handed over to the polling officials who will use it at the polling units. And then the administrators have the keys to the configuration and stuff like that. So the card readers are not amenable to being hacked. They are not online. They cannot be jammed because the way it functions is not such that you can intercept the waves between the permanent voter card and the card reader. So all those things that you hear out there, well, you can't stop people from trying things, but you can rest assured that those things simply do not apply to the card reader.
All right, Mr. Akido, before I allow you go, tell me, the commission is how many % ready for this election? How ready is INEC for this election? And tell me, we've heard so many information as regarding after your voting, go home, do not go home. What is the situation? How far can someone stay after the accreditation and voting? Should you stay or go home?
Thank you for that question. You see, the guidelines that the Commission has in place since 2011, which still obtains now, is that when you vote and if you please, you could, or if you are not too sure of how you can conduct yourself, it might be advised that you go. But if you want to stay behind, feel free to do so on the strict condition that you will be well behaved. Now, I also think that there is some interference in the way the statements by the IG at the Election Observers Summit was reported. What I believe I heard him say was that INEC has said people should stay if they want to stay, but he was advising that in order for them not to, because the thin line, you could be staying behind, and before you know it, you are shouting at someone. And by the time you are aggressive at somebody, you have infringed the electoral law, and the security agencies will have a good ground to arrest you, apprehend you. So he was saying that it might be advised so that you do not cross that thin line, that you go. But that is not to deny the fact that it's in INEC's guidelines that you could stay if you are sure you will be well behaved.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kayode Idowu, CPS, the Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman, for being on the program.